It's not a real selling feature. It's not a real pickup tool, the white cane. So.
The attraction was certainly the voice.
Women with disabilities are seen as asexual.
There could be my soulmate across the room, and I wouldn't even see him.
When you're blind, you don't have the benefit of body language.
We live in a sighted world. We judge and appreciate the world through our eyes. Could one flirt without eye contact? Could one be blind and fall in love at first sight? Could one be blind and find true love? Jacquie, Bryan, and Shawn give us insight into their world as they each search for love.
Up. Find the way. Find the way.
I don't think the white cane's a real good pickup tool. I try not to really have it out a lot when I'm, in a club or in a bar or whatever. I think it definitely deters people, but it's necessary at times.
Shawn is a spirited woman with a degree in psychology. She has retinitis pigmentosa. This genetic disease leaves her with less than 5% vision. She's going to try contra dancing with her sister Jen and a friend. Maybe she'll meet Mr. Right.
Are you coming out this way? No, we're over here. Okay, fine. She's recently kind of, broken up with somebody, so sometimes she says she's taking a break or needs to figure out what she wants and then jumps into something else. So, I don't know. Maybe she'll take her time this time and hopefully find somebody that is the right one.
Let's take hands in a big circle, just for now, so everyone knows where they are.
She feels, I think, safer with someone that has more vision than her. I'd rather someone can guide her around than her guiding somebody. Like, it's the blind leading the blind.
Free to join in anytime you want.
If they're visually impaired, that's fine, but maybe have more sight than her or can see in the dark. That would be nice, because she can't at all.
And it's great Irish and Quebecois and Cape Breton traditional folk music, and generally it breaks down into groups of 8 beats. So, for example, I might say something like "circle to the left," and we'd all.
The voice is very important. When I meet somebody new, that's kind of the first thing that lets me know whether I'm going to be attracted to them or not. And I guess size. Like, I can't really see detail, but I like guys that are tall and prefer them to be, to weigh more than I do, and it's kind of my requirement. But it's more about personality, really. But I mean, if I'm not attracted to their voice, then there's no hope.
Me? Sure, yeah.
Is this your first time?
Yes. My first grown-up relationship was with somebody who was 9 years older than me. My family didn't like him very much. Most of my friends didn't like him very much. And he was kind of, he was controlling and ended up being physically abusive.
Oops. It's about connecting with other people.
My life became about him. What is he going to think if I do this or if I say this? Or I just really wanted him to be proud of me or to be pleased with me or to love me or whatever. And I kind of lost myself, I think, in that relationship. And didn't have a lot of self-esteem. I think I was, seemed like I was always disappointing him in some way, and no matter what I did. Oh, sorry! Because I had spent so much time worrying about him and what he wanted me to be, I really didn't know who I was.
Let's go to the bus. Up to the bus. Stay. You're a good boy. People come up to me all the time, how long have you had your dog? And I have that question put to me so many times. Well, what kind of dog do you have? And I say, well, I have a golden retriever. Yeah, it's pretty excitable, too. They say, well, it doesn't look like a golden retriever. And I said, oh, yeah, it's a golden retriever. And I put my hand down, and I was stroking. And I was starting to stroke, and I went, oh, it's a golden retriever. They said, well, it looks more like a German Shepherd. And they said, well, no, actually, no. Bruce at the office has a German Shepherd. I have a... Oh, my goodness, I've got the wrong dog. And all of a sudden, these people stood up, and they said, oh, can we get you back to the... You know, they were really upset. Okay. I can feel it going over, eh? Well, the day I lost my eyesight was when I went down to check my email. I was on the way to go and play golf that morning, and had a tee-off time at 2 minutes after 6. And went down to check my email, and when I looked at the computer screen, it was just white. Couldn't see anything at all. Okay, inside first. Go inside. The first diagnosis was MS. And going back to different hospitals, it seemed like, although I was the one with the vision loss, my wife at that time seemed to think it was her problem, not mine.
Bryan is a seriously playful man. Once a chef, he now works as an employment marketer. Bryan has Leber's disease. It's a very rare disease that causes damage to the optic nerve, leading to partial or complete blindness. He has no vision in one eye and about 2% in the other.
If you've been in a relationship for 20 or 24 years with the one person, and then you end up with a disability, it's kind of hard to switch from one to another. So I became quite frustrated, not being able to do things, and people got frustrated with me. My vision loss certainly didn't improve my marriage. We were having problems at the time anyway. It just added to the problems.
Jacquie is both fiercely independent and a romantic at heart. She has been dating a sighted man named Pete for about 6 months.
Cheers! He's funny, he's fun, he does considerate things, he's a little bit crazy, he likes to have a lot of fun. I don't know, it's, yeah, he's fun. I met Pete at the beach, came up, sat, talked to me, and I didn't really talk to him back because but then I saw him down here on the beach the day after my birthday, and he introduced himself to me again, and about 6 weeks later I ran into him at this pub that I drink at, and we've just been kind of hanging out ever since.
But the relationship is a difficult one, oscillating between friendship, lust, and indifference.
It is one roll. Okay, so they did the girls, then promenade. Oh, it's just one little hand thing, and then you go to your another partner, do do-si-do, and the girls do this, then you walk around, okay, and then back to their partner, do-si-do, and do-si-do the girl. Oh my God, it's complicated. And then a little stomp together, like together, and then spin with the partner.
So after my heart was broken, I decided at that point to stay single. Ha ha ha, big joke. And I made it 5 months that time. Sorry. Thank you. I think we all have issues about our blindness, whether we really recognize that or not.
How you doing?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Getting dizzy?
No. I think it helps not being able to see, actually.
You can be really well adjusted, but being in a society that sees disability as something, the medical model of disability, that something's wrong with you and something needs to be fixed, it's pretty hard to have that not affect you in some way. There's a part of me that wants to be asked to dance because it's flattering, but then there's another part of me that doesn't want to because it's just so stressful. So it's really catch-22.
It's over. It was fun, but there's enough. I can only take so much spinning. 2 steps. Don't think you'll meet anybody there. No, I guess not.
A little too old for you.
Oh well.
Where are we gonna catch a cab?
I don't know.
Tomorrow's. Okay.
All too often, marriages end in divorce when one partner becomes visually impaired.
Yeah.
Bryan's marriage was no exception.
Your perspective, that's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Good, David.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let me know tomorrow what happens, okay?
Yeah.
Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Yeah.
All right? Thanks, David. As far as looking for anybody else at all, most of the time it was I listened to music. Certainly didn't have a television, so it was listening to books. I got very involved in work. Got very involved in doing some other volunteer opportunities. But no, I wasn't involved in dating at all.
Well, we might as well go down to the stump and do that.
Let's do it.
Jacquie goes to Wreck Beach every chance she gets.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Today, her friend Dave has invited her to come with him.
Was that April 1st?
To Jacquie, the nudist community of Wreck Beach is a utopian place where everyone can be themselves and be accepted as they are.
Part of what makes us all bond as a community is the fact that, we can all sit in front of each other without our clothes on. And, it doesn't matter what people look like, and it doesn't matter how big or small their bodies are, or, none of that just matters. Well, I haven't been up it all year, so I'm going to go up there right now.
Go up there, too? No.
Smells like it.
No, just around the bottom.
Yeah, I've been hanging out at this particular spot for about 6 or 7 years now. Usually have my hammock up off this stump in the summer. It's the house. And there's a freedom. It's an incredibly awesome freedom to be able to walk around with no clothes on. Outside, sun on your body. I live for it. That's what gets me through my winters, is the thought of spring and Wreck Beach.
There was a conference in Calgary. There was just myself and Forrest, and I went in, and a few people came up and said hello, and people were very friendly. That was the first time I met Ellie, and it was mainly just by voice, somebody coming up and saying hello, and it was quite an attraction at that time with the voice.
Well, he was standing next to Kathy. That must be Bryan. And I came in and said hello, and I thought, oh, now he's a yummy guy.
The attraction was certainly the voice. She was very friendly, and it was actually a huge attraction was the voice. I couldn't get it out of my head. So I guess my first reaction wasn't visual, it was just by the voice. Her voice actually has a real smile in her voice all the time.
Jacquie and Pete want different things from the relationship. So after much hesitation, Jacquie has decided to end it.
Well, we're not really gonna be seeing each other anymore. I think we're just friends. Right now, he's sort of telling me how beautiful all the other women around me are and around are, which is kind of not so good for my ego. So I don't know how much time we'll actually, over time, spend together, just because, you know, if everybody else is so beautiful, then he should probably be spending time with them. I certainly am not gonna, you know, leap into anything new at the moment. Just kind of want to get used to having time to myself.
You've been hurt?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
No. Okay.
Too fresh.
Fair enough.
So let's talk about something else, or?
I think women with disabilities are seen as asexual. You know, a lot of, in the women's movement, a lot of women complain that they're seen as sex objects, but I think women with disabilities are almost wish to be seen that way. You know, you don't want to be objectified, but at the same time, when you have a disability, you're not even put in that same class. I did have a guy at a bus stop one night. I was waiting for the bus and I had my cane, and he said, "You're not really blind, are you?" And I said, "Yeah," and he said, "What a waste." And that kind of, at the time, I actually was slightly flattered because I thought, I took it as a compliment, although now it makes me angry because it's not a waste.
Lisa's here. She's gonna rap today.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, nice! I get to play.
Yes. So. Sorry. Oh, there he is. He's here.
Great timing once again.
Yeah.
Wow. What, do we have more people this week?
Lisa's here.
We got a rep.
Shawn and her friends get together every week to play goal ball. It's while playing goal ball that she met her very first boyfriend.
When the center receives it, do they have 10 seconds?
No, it's just from when you say play. So a couple months ago, I was talking to my mom about like the fact that most of my boyfriends have been visually impaired, and I said, you know, am I really ugly or something? How come sighted people aren't interested in me? And she said, no, I think it's because you can't make eye contact. You might not notice that somebody's checking you out and you're not returning the signals, and they don't know that you can't see, so they just think you're not interested, and that's the end of that. And I never really thought about that before because I don't see all the subtle body language and winks and smiles and all of that that's going on, and I didn't really realize that I was missing out on that. The pressure's on. I'll start with center. I like to play center when people aren't warmed up yet. It's the most bizarre spectator sport because the crowd doesn't get to make any noise. When you score, then you get the little polite, quick clap, and that's it.
Goal ball is played by two opposing teams of blindfolded players. They take turns throwing a ball filled with bells and trying to intercept it.
It has to be quiet when you play goal ball. You have to flirt in a different way. And I think amongst the blind community, you learn to be more obvious. You know, if you like somebody, you have to be more direct. You pretty much have to come out there and say it, because how else are you going to let them know? I can understand eye contact. I mean, I know what facial expressions look like and stuff, but I don't know if I really understand sort of the language of dating.
I've never talked on the phone so much in my life. Oh, hi there. How you doing? Hey, you just got in?
Bryan and Ellie live over 800 kilometers from each other.
Hey, how you doing? We talked for hours. Talked for hours about sometimes nothing, sometimes about a lot of things. Hey, you just got back? Yeah, so how was Montreal? You folks okay? You can sit down with somebody at a restaurant. You can sit down and cuddle up with somebody on the couch. But when you talk to somebody on the telephone for an hour or 2 hours at a time, it's amazing how well you can get to know that person. Yeah, so how you doing?
When we were on the phone all the time, I guess maybe it did level the playing field a little bit. You're always talking with someone, but you don't have the visual clues. I think that's a positive. For me, it was a positive.
Cool. Oh, no, I look forward to seeing you too. Okay, where's Ellie? Hey, where's Ellie? Where's Ellie? Where's Ellie? Hey, where's your girlfriend? Oh, where's your girlfriend? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?
And then when we get together, all we wanted to do was touch. Because that's the other side of a good relationship, is the physical side. So you're always at the airport saying hello or goodbye. And the hellos were wonderful, and the goodbyes were terrible.
So it has all the gears now.
Shawn hopes to be drafted into the Canadian tandem cycling team for the next Paralympic Games. She has teamed up with Lisa, a top BC cyclist, who will act as her sighted pilot.
Can you think of anything that would be a significant sort of factor? What brings them on, or?
10 years ago, Jacquie became a massage therapist because she enjoyed making people feel better.
Lost my eyesight when I was 16. Had some till then. I had not that much vision, but I had some. I could see colors, and it was good to have had some and to have lost it than to have never had it, because at least now I can relate. You know, I know what colors look like, and you know, I know what mountains look like, and I know what people look like. So I'm glad that I've had that. Yeah, I definitely have body types that I like for sure. Yeah, I do. I like tall guys. Tall with big, broad shoulders. Yep. But the last two guys I've hung out with have been like 5'7", so, you know, even that you can break the rules for, you know, if the person and you get along really well. But are there really ugly people in the world? Like really, truly ugly people? Like everybody's got something, right? That, you know, they might look different or odd or whatever. I mean, but are there really, truly, truly ugly people in the world? Like, really? Well, have you ever had a professional massage before?
No, never.
Oh, well. Life will never be the same again for you, will it?
I thought she is tall and blonde. She's not? Don't shock me now. No, I wasn't shocked at all. No, not at all. No, she was actually described as being knockout gorgeous, is how she was described. The first time I ever saw her was using a monocle, and then Ellie sent a photograph to me of what she was like. And now and again, I'll look right up close to her and I'll try and see what she looks like. I have a very, very good idea, but I haven't been able to see her real clearly. But it's clear enough. And as soon as she smiles, her teeth show, her eyes are so big, so bright, and I can see her smile, and that's the thing that it's exciting. It really is. It's very exciting for me.
You lost a lot of weight, eh, Jackie? Yeah, I got skinny on time to be single. Yay, single, yay, skinny. It's been a strange summer for me, even on the beach. I've really been flying solo. You know, I have a few people that have been giving me rides to the beach, but a lot of days the person who gives me a ride to the beach isn't the person that I leave with. Alrighty, let's do it.
Set?
Yep.
Jacquie has always had a wide network of friends. But lately, many have either moved on or moved away.
I've just been really doing my own thing. Yeah, no gang. It's very different for me. I have good friends, and I mean, it's just that I don't have that same bunch of people that I've had in the past around me, you know? Like people that are gonna go home together, that meet in a bar and they're dancing all night, they don't have to engage in any kind of conversation. Whereas if somebody's trying to pick up a blind person, they actually have to have a conversation with them and engage them. You're turning me on, Aaron.
Aaron is Jackie's best friend. He too is a massage therapist. He too is blind.
You know, I guess the way I look at myself is I'm just a sighted guy that can't see.
Well, I'm a sighted woman who can't see. Now.
Right.
Also, I gotta tell you, you know how we have to not, you know, oh God, I worked on this guy about 2 weeks ago. Did I tell you about this? I don't go there, you know what I mean? Like I don't go there, but I'm telling you, I worked on this boy a couple weeks ago and I was just like, holy. You know what I'm saying, Aaron? It wasn't like about body or like anything. It was actually like just one of those magnetism things that just my heart skipped a beat when I. But I'm telling you, if I ever run into that boy somewhere out and about,
Yeah.
I'll be sitting on down and chatting him up, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I hope, maybe not. I don't know. It's such a complicated issue, that one.
After a year of dating, Bryan left Vancouver and moved in with Ellie in Edmonton.
And when Bryan, particularly when he moved in, those were some of the things, the accommodations that we made were marking things for him.
Is there anything I can do about this one?
No. And it's also things like he likes whole milk and I like skim milk. So when we buy a 2 liter of each, I put an elastic band around the one that's his. So he knows when he reaches into the fridge which one is which. I mean, they're not big things, but they're important things.
Oh, I can't jump that far. You gotta watch me.
I am. It never occurred to me that I would end up with somebody who was blind. It just happened. It was not one of those things that you think, gee, it would be interesting to date a blind person. I don't really think about blind people as being any different from anyone else.
Here you are, napkin.
Shawn's friend Monty is visiting with his Scottish fiancée, Carrie.
Are you finished?
Yes.
Both are blind, and they've stopped by on their way back from a Mexican cruise.
I've heard that our story has turned into a slight urban legend in some places, because a couple of times people have said to me, oh, I heard that you and Monty met over the internet and chatted for a while on email and spoke on the phone, and then one of you happened to mention that you were blind. And the other one said, oh, so am I, and it was this amazing coincidence, which really would be hilarious if that was how it had happened. But actually, we knew each other were blind from the very start, because, I mean,
I don't
Monty
think
placed his
the man
message
that ends
on
up
a
with
website.
me is gonna miss out on anything or I don't know, deserve some award for being with me, because I think I have a lot of great qualities, and the fact that I can't see I think it makes me more interesting.
Are you sure you want to take a few more of each before I take them away?
A few more.
Well, there's things in my everyday life that I have that are challenging, I guess, reading my mail or doing grocery shopping or whatever it is, but I've found a way to do it. And there are some things that I wait for somebody sighted to come along so I can ask them, basically use their eyes. But it's not something that comes up every minute of every day. It's like maybe once a week I need somebody to read something to me or whatever.
Mind the door.
I'd like the barbecue.
Okay, then take those.
They have red ones, yellow ones, orange ones, green ones, purple ones.
Purple?
Yeah. In the years that I was married, if there was a really pretty girl with big boobs or whatever, and I'd say, hey, look over there, I used to point it out.
Are they gonna be okay for the barbie?
So I guess with Bryan, it's harder to do that. I tend to point out the weird ones because it's easier to describe somebody who's got a great big, spike or really strange clothing than it is to say, hey, she's really pretty. Well, what constitutes pretty?
Wow, you guys have been selling lots, eh? My goodness. As well for this in a second.
One of the things that's really different when you're in love with a blind person is how you dress. I always worry about how I look, but how do you feel? What are you looking for?
The dish that I left there.
What dish?
I left a dish on here.
From
the
the
oval
eggplant
dish,
salad
yes.
last
I
time?
left.
That's dirty. I have, for example, I have a sweater that I bought in a garage sale, and it's Angora, and it's absolutely a gorgeous feel. And it's a beautiful color. The style's not great on me. It would cost me $1 or $2, something like that. And I never wore it much, but I wear it with Bryan because it's less important how it looks and more important how it feels. There's times when I know he doesn't see my body language, and there's times that that's probably okay. Field to table within 24 hours. There's things that I know he misses that he would enjoy or get a kick out of, or
These are really strong. Where'd you get these?
can't describe it. And so rather than try and frustrate myself and him, I just don't say anything. It's not that I'm hiding anything, it's just that sometimes it's just not worth the effort.
You do, you hide your car keys.
I do hide my car keys, yes. But you do get to change the gears when we drive.
Just have some toothpaste.
Well, you can dress me up, but you can't take me anywhere.
Okay, toothpaste.
A friend has come to help Jacquie get ready for her 20-year high school reunion.
My tooth.
I think sometimes confidence is a really sexual thing or sexy thing for some people. I know it's what attracted me to the guy that I've been hanging out with, that I was hanging out with. He's got, you know, this huge ego. And so he comes across with a lot of confidence. And yeah, I found that very attractive. And I was feeling really confident about myself at that point in my life, you know, too.
But even 20 years down the road, confidence and high school don't usually go together.
Hey, can I give you a hug?
Sure. Haven't seen you since I gave you a massage.
Yeah, that was a good massage.
It hasn't been 20 years since I seen you.
No, oh, you
Jacquie
guys.
had completely lost her sight by the end of her high school years. She's hoping to meet old friends and maybe make new ones.
I guess. Sure.
How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Hi, quick.
How you doing?
Very good. Nice dog.
Jacquie, it's Janice. How are you? Oh my goodness, you were one of the people that I really wanted to talk to.
I'm excited about it. It'll be fun to see people. I've been dreaming about people this week that I haven't thought about in about 20 years, you know, like having memories of being in high school kind of thing. So, but, you know, all I really wanted to do today was go to the beach.
1 year, yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think you're being changed.
Am I being paged? Okay, I'll be right back.
As soon as somebody pays attention to me, I kind of go, oh, maybe I like them, and then end up in a relationship and not necessarily a healthy one. I think I have this fear of being alone.
Sit.
Keep pushing. I want to be able to have it all, and I think I need to really figure out where I'm going and what I want before I can worry about what somebody else wants too.
All right, guys.
Shawn went to the International Blind Sport Association World Championships in Quebec this summer. She came back with a bronze medal. She's now earned the right to represent Canada in the 2004 Paralympics in Athens.
Les médaillés de bronze du Canada.
I love leaving the Friday night.
I hate it.
I can love somebody, but it takes a long time to know that I've fallen it, you know. Whereas then that quick, you know, I'm in love with you after a week or whatever is, you know, how quickly does that flame burn out, you know? I have a hard time believing in it.
Yeah, it's good not to be spending as much time with him anyways. So, it's just as well. Just as well.
It's usually that way with men.
I think in love with takes time, and it takes time spent together, and it takes a shared bond, and it takes a common goal that you want to make sure that nothing bad ever happens to that person and that you never harmfully hurt them. And so I think it's those three things are layers of the same onion.
Okay, little tomato plant, grow really big and strong and tall.
I only knew that the person that I would end up with was not going to have a lot of problems, was not going to be needy.
Oh, that's good. Try and burn those fingers there, Bryan.
I don't always want to have to be the strong one. And I know I'm a strong person, but I need somebody who will challenge that and is independent. And so whether they had a disability or not really didn't matter as long as they weren't needy. And Bryan is certainly not a needy person.
In a way, it's kind of flattering when people forget that I can't see, because it means that they are seeing me for Shawn, not for somebody who's blind.
Everybody has differences and things that they have to overcome. Mine's just more obvious. And so it's right in their faces right at the beginning. You see what you get what you see. Like it or not.
My vision is still focused on what I want to do. I still want to live. I still want to enjoy life. I still want to do things. I've just lost my sight. I haven't lost the vision to live.